right.
Thank you very much. And I gotta say, I wish I could match those energy levels. Already had multiple cups of coffee today, and those weren't enough to bring me there. So first things first, I want to give a very warm welcome to everybody, and it's great to be back in Hong Kong after so many years. So I'm Cathal Donlan. I'm the CEO of NexStox, and we're on a mission to tokenize everything in a manner that is secure, legal, licensed, compliant, and fully regulated. But why are we on this mission, and what do we seek to achieve? We see this as a 16 trillion US dollar opportunity, whereby 10% of global GDP is going to be tokenized, securitized, and moving on-chain. This figure was underscored by HSBC, Bank of America Merrill Lynch, NatWest Bank, Boston Consulting Group, and so forth, arguing that the tokenization of various real-world assets was a necessity for global finance, bringing the benefits of blockchain technology to TradFi. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, went even further in his 2025 letter to investors, speaking about the financial inclusion opportunities through tokenization. But let's move a little bit beyond that, and let's actually go back to the clarion call of our industry. What exactly does TradFi have to learn from tokenization and the blockchain industry in general? What we see is that TradFi, it actually suffers from an enormous number of inefficiencies. First and foremost, according to the World Bank, between 15 and 20 billion US dollars could be saved annually through tokenization-driven optimizations and efficiency gains. But we go beyond that a little bit further. It's not just about saving, but it's about the possibilities opened up through tokenization. In TradFi, you have trading hours. Tokenized securities have the potential to be 24/7. In TradFi, you're limited by jurisdiction, where you can trade, how you can trade. Blockchain technology enables it to be borderless. Finally, we see that international transfers can take days. Blockchain technology enables instantaneous settlement. But actually going a little bit further, we can see something that is a bit more apparent. Blockchain technology and crypto in general actually borrows a lot from TradFi as things currently stand. Who here was around during the 2017 ICO boom? I know that Calvin down there was, Warren was, Alan most certainly was. What was the main selling point given to you guys? Own the next Google, own the next Facebook, own the next Amazon. It was all about ownership. But were you really owning anything? You were investing in a token that you hoped would appreciate in value. You hoped that people would ape into. But you weren't really owning anything. It was immutable, it was on-chain, absolutely. But did you really own anything? The answer is no. Now, moving beyond that, we can actually see that TradFi actually teaches blockchain companies quite a lot. Staking, it's the same thing as interest. DAO voting, it's exactly the same principle as board voting. And buybacks are exactly the same thing as share buybacks. But moving beyond that, what we see and what we feel as a company, as a licensed entity with a securities dealership license, is that you need to create a linkage between on-chain and off-chain ownership. The CBO of a major L1, he actually came up to me on one point and he said, to be honest with you, I've become disillusioned because when you move most of these assets off-chain, they become worthless. Creating that linkage whereby one token equals one share is absolutely essential, and making that immutable through blockchain technology. We can go a little bit further, and we can actually go back in time to 2018. We can remember that was the advent of the STO craze. As a matter of fact, I was part of a consortium leading the securitized, tokenized charge in the Philippines, partnering with the central bank, Bangko Sentral in the Pilipinas, Security Bank, Union Bank, and many other financial institutions. But the issue was, number one, the market was not yet ready. At that stage, it was largely speculative. You would invest and hope for a pump. That was the nature of the market up until sometime last year. Beyond that, the legal frameworks were not yet fully developed. There was no way of actually representing on-chain ownership off-chain, meaning if it was challenged in a court of law, there was no real methodology for doing so. However, we've seen that changing, whereby instead of offering an ICO, an initial coin offering, you can offer something called an RWO, which is a real-world offering underpinned by real-world ownership. And that's why we see this forthcoming paradigm, whereby you can actually move assets of value on-chain that produce yield, giving people earning potential, underscored and securitized by an asset. Doesn't mean all assets should be tokenized, but it does mean that the rails are there to tokenize various other types of assets. When we look at businesses, think about a business looking to expand, a convenience store, a bar, a franchisee looking to run an expanding business. That's what we mean by RWB, earning dividend through real-world business activity. We also see financial products. Think about debt instruments, think about bonds, think about so much more. We see this major drive for financial product adoption, which has the potential to change capital, funding, and IPO markets indefinitely. In essence, we aim to make the inaccessible accessible and the illiquid liquid. Not just anybody can invest in a durian plantation, for example. For many, the minimum required ticket size is too high. Likewise, for a fund, managing the day-to-day operations is next to impossible without the experience, without the export channels, without the operational expertise. Tokenization makes that so much easier. When you talk about making the illiquid liquid, many stocks, 56% of global assets, as a matter of fact, are completely illiquid. By making them tradable on an exchange with a global reach, borderless, securitized, operating 24/7, 365, that's the type of change securitized offerings need. That's why we've created a portfolio of companies addressing different market needs. At the top, you've got NexStox, which I'm very pleased to announce today is officially going live. Thank you very much, Warren, for the round of applause. This is an institutional-grade platform where we focus on primary offerings, making those global and making them liquid through the secondary exchange. NX Market, which fulfills many of the same functions, but goes a little bit deeper in offering RWO, whereby if you're a business, an asset, a financial product, looking for global reach, 24/7 operability, you can actually list, raise, and trade for as little as $10,000. And what I've seen over the last few days, there's been enormous interest in that. We've also got Dato Durian, which Bobby will speak about in a bit more detail, securitizing durian land and bringing yield to people from every harvest, the first of its kind. With BTC whiskey, just imagine whiskey trading, whiskey cask maturation, and Bitcoin treasury, all combined into one company. With UPredict, we give people a way to access the market that's expected to grow to $95.5 billion by the year 2035, predicting current and future events. And last but not least, the Hong Kong licensed trust, Musa Wealth, gives people access to wealth management opportunities and custody solutions, making the aforementioned off-chain and on-chain securitization possible. But before I welcome Warren Burke on stage, I want to quickly go over the team, the vision, and the future, where we see that developing. So we have created a family, a group of platforms that address different market needs, 24/7, 365 operability, on-chain, off-chain ownership, and much, much more that can solve real-world problems that TradFi currently cannot. We're a team consisting of protocol expertise, venture capital expertise, and of course, exchange expertise, with over 5 years of development time for a number of reasons. Number one, getting the market ready, absolutely pivotal. Secondly, licensing, always making sure that everything is fully compliant. And finally, when the market sentiment is there, that's the time to go. But I want to leave you with one statistic. This is TVL from DeFi Llama. What we see with DeFi TVL, it's volatile, it fluctuates a lot. It goes up and down regularly. RWA TVL, on the other hand, we see consistency in growth. The way we currently view it is that the market has spoken. Demand for RWA has continued apace, and we anticipate that this will continue and redefine the future, not only of TradFi, but of blockchain technology. But the question is, how will we do it? And for that, I would like to welcome Warren Burke on stage.
Hi, everyone. So a lot of projects talk about going global, but to be honest, having a website doesn't just mean that you're a global company. So we've really transferred across the entire APAC region. That's why we've secured not just one, but 2 licenses, which has been a very uphill struggle. Having one for the primary offering platform is one of the major industry pain points, and then having a secondary license for a secondary market allows us to tap into larger projects that already exist. Even just at this event alone, we've spoken to so many projects from tokenized power all the way to tokenized agriculture, to land bank companies. So the really service offering that we offer is very vast and majority. We even have the ability to address a lot of concerns such as the new regulation changes in Hong Kong by operating a secondary trust license across a different APAC region. We are also in process of acquiring another 2 licenses, and we really feel that this enables us to have a truly global platform. It's not just about having a website that people can visit, doesn't mean that you're global. We have to be able to legally operate and kind of predict the future. The team has been really good in kind of being very early in previous experiences. Our co-founder and lead investor, Calvin, has about 6 IPOs under his belt, so he really understands this market needs. It's not about a project can just launch, sell a token, and then kind of cash out. We have to make sure that these projects deliver. So one thing that we did is we trademarked RWB, which is one of the focuses for our primary offering platform, nxmarket.com. Please feel free to go to the booth, make an account. We'll be offering various different incentives to kind of use the platform and get feedback. One thing that we really want to focus is yield-bearing assets. It doesn't really make sense to us over the years if you put 100,000 US dollars into a DeFi platform and then at the end of 5 years your principal is reduced to 20K. To us, that really doesn't make sense. So we really want to focus on protecting the users and also the asset owners. So if you are an RWA project, we want to make sure that you understand that we want to be the largest portfolio of RWA offerings. So our listings, all the way from the asset to the legal compliance structure, we can do that for less than 30,000 US dollars, right? If you go to Liechtenstein or Switzerland or wherever, they're going to charge you like 200K. We want to be at the market leading of unique offerings for users. So if you have an RWA project, please come and speak to us. We're more than happy to facilitate you and distribute to our community. With our legal structure, we're also able to ensure that the token holders are protected, not just the asset owners. We really want this symbiotic relationship of pulling capital, as Kahal mentioned earlier, making the illiquid liquid. So if you have an RWA project and you're looking to list, we can help you. If you have an asset and you're unsure, we will give you free consultation to make sure that you have all the answers. Even if you don't work with us, we really care about educating the industry. So please come find us at the booth, the large blue one with NexStox. If you're interested in listing, please come on board. And if you have anything that you think could plug into our ecosystem and our partnerships, such as UPredict, Datadurian, please have a talk if you would like to join our ecosystem. So thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you at the booth soon.